So we finally changed our clothes, and we're here for a third week of Project Hail Mary, putting on the finishing touches on this mini series where we explore both the novel and the film. And we're just going to focus on some of the big ideas, as we said at the end of last week's episode, and just kind of try to connect it to some of the experiences and other texts that we've been going through. So last week we kind of touched upon the beauty of Rocky and Ryland's relationship and how friendship can go beyond differences. I don't know if anybody wants to share their thoughts and kind of build upon what we were talking about the past few weeks.
Take it away, F boys.
The F is for friendship, by the way.
I don't know, man. Pitch me a question.
Okay, so
It's been several weeks.
what do you think is what you're not supposed to admit that it's been several? Oh, yeah.
No, in his mind it's been.
Oh, in his mind it's been several weeks.
jam-packed.
It's been
jam-packed.
What do you think is the beauty of connecting with someone that's different from yourself?
Perspective. Just learning. Like having an open mind about other point of views, traditions. I think last week we kind of spoke a little bit about the it's a human thing and it's a Iridian thing. I think that's a perfect example.
That's right. Love that.
You know, accept each other's traditions and see the good. Accept the good.
How old is this book, actually? Our resident fact checker Gabriel looking it up. Because I mean, I know it's a pretty modern book. It's a pretty, relatively new book, but that's definitely a message that resonates, I think, where we are today in our society. That I mean, what was
21.
21. So it's
that's more recent than I was thinking.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like 2015 or something.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been a while that I think we've discussed that it feels like we're so divided. And to kind of have that as one of the central messages in a text, I think it's really refreshing to me because it's just a reminder of just a simple truth that it's easy to forget along our day and experience, especially with all the messages that we're kind of surrounded with day to day.
Yeah, it just seems like society's in a... I don't say like we're obsessed, but I feel like it's being thrown at us, this ideology of division and separation, and whether that's, politics or the things that you see on a day-to-day basis. I think I liken it to stuff in sports. And sports, like you obviously have rival teams, you go up against them.
Yeah,
but even
like my team, Arsenal.
What do they call it? What do they call you guys?
We call ourselves the Gunners. Don't clip that, please. Don't clip that.
No, like with sports teams, I think that there's certain, like obviously there's rivalry and quote unquote hatred, but at the end of the day, I feel like there's a sense of unity in the game that you're playing, and that's something where I think that can be healthy, competition and, you're going up against someone. But I think
Agree to disagree, but
I think at this point, I mean, maybe for you personally,
maybe.
Yeah. I think at this point where we are as a society, there is no point to unite us, or that's what they're making it seem like. Whoever they are, it's up to you.
The government,
but
definitely the United States government. Sorry, it's 2026.
So it just seems like there's sometimes
that joke would have felt hollow like in past years, but it actually resonates. I don't know how truthful that joke was actually. I'm sorry. Continue.
It's okay. No, I just also feel like it's just sometimes it looks very bleak, and when you get stories like this, it reminds you, like you said, it reminds you of these simple things that we can do in our lives today. Like in a story about traveling, interstellar space travel, meeting an alien and trying to save the Earth. that you can apply certain things in your life. Like, it's not necessarily an alien. It could be your neighbor. It can be someone cutting you off in traffic, even though it's not necessarily a fun thing to do. But at the same time, it's like you've also probably been that person to cut someone off in traffic at some point. And it's about perspective, like Danny said, where you got to put yourself in their shoes. And sometimes we can't judge people too quickly, too hastily. In terms of these two, Rocky and
I think Rocky wears shoes.
and Grace, probably wears his own thing. He had his whole like ceremonial garb.
That's right.
Put yourself in his garb.
Yeah.
He reminded me of those little coconuts from Moana when he got dressed up in that garb.
Oh, that's true.
Is that weird?
No.
Okay.
Is that the real term for what he's wearing? A garb?
Garb is just attire.
Yeah.
That's
Clothes.
just.
It's a term.
Oh,
It's not like
It's a word.
What it
Yeah,
is
yeah.
for them.
No, that's what they call it. They use the word garb, but it sounds like
It's an Iridian thing.
It's an Iridian thing.
It's an Iridian.
It's an Iridian thing. Yeah.
But
okay.
between the both of them, I think because we notice it at the beginning when they first meet, they're it's kind of not hostile, but they're scared. You know, they're scared of each other. Grace has.
I mean, would be too, right?
Of course.
Grace,
but that's the thing where it's because it's like all like everything we've seen about like aliens, like they're gonna eat you or kill you or whatever. They're here to invade.
Nah, E.T. E.T. is my main text. They're here to help us.
Shout out Nick, just saw that in the big 2-6.
Who's Nick?
I only know Pepe.
Pepe.
Yeah, our producer
He was
Pepe.
born again. Came out. But yeah, it wasn't necessarily like the big thing was trust. I think they trusted each other and they ended up saving each other's lives and saving a whole bunch of other people's lives. So
They put faith in each other.
Yes.
They put
Yes.
faith and trust in each other, and they took a risk to do that, and it paid off for them. And that's a beautiful thing.
They came out on top.
Because we need to sometimes put some risk and trust each other. Have faith in each
Yeah,
other.
we need to bet on one another. We need to
Exactly.
invest in each other. Yeah.
I think a big reception I saw after the movie was a lot of people just felt like it was a hopeful movie, which is such a strong
Our
thing
brand.
in these times. and yes, our brand. As we've said, everything kind of circles back to hope.
Yeah, it's not intentional, but we keep coming. And I think you perfectly described it, in the past couple episodes, that you stressed faith, and it's like hope and faith in something, right? Even if it's just your fellow man. Which kind of brings us to the next topic of survival versus purpose. So we all have to kind of live in the world. We have to exist. You got to pay the bills. You got to move through your day, right? And we do a lot of things because we have to do them. But I think self-actualized people do things because they have a reason or a goal or a purpose instead. How do we balance those two things of survival versus purpose? The things we believe we were put on this earth to do versus the things we kind of have to do to survive.
Take it away, Pepe.
Me encanta la noche.
It's true what Pepe says. The night can be so beautiful because I think you toil during the day and you're under like the hot earth or Iridian sun. But then at night you kind of get to reflect with yourself. You come back to your home, to your friends and your family, your loved ones, and for many people that's kind of the reason why they get up in the morning.
That's their
I don't know
purpose.
about you. What is
It's purpose and survival. It's night and day.
That's their purpose. Yeah.
What do you guys think? What do you think is what are what's the difference between living for survival and living with purpose?
I think one is living for yourself and the other is living for others. I think for survival, it's not necessarily like what you have to do to survive. I also think there can be kind of like, what can I get from this?
Yeah.
What do I need for myself to survive? But like, if you put in the context of what do I need to put myself in a position to help somebody else or be there for my family, your friends, whatever it is, I think that when you attach certain things that you get from survival, like, trying to improve yourself, like even improve self-improvement and things like that. But you attach it.
You know how I feel about self-improvement.
But when you attach it with a but you attach it with a purpose, I think for me, what comes to mind is attaching it to help somebody else, to be of service for somebody else. And that's helped me out a lot, because I think when I was younger, I was just very selfish, like in small things that aren't like overtly selfish that people would like. Oh
yeah, it's easy to get caught up in it. You don't even realize you're doing it. Yeah.
And I think as you grow older, like you gain a different perspective, and I've learned a lot, and I still have more to learn. But one of the things that I learned that changed my life the most was just my purpose is to help others, to be of service for others. And that might look differently. It's not necessarily like just my job or what I'm doing as a career or anything. It's the way that I live, and I feel like that's always kind of been around the way that I grew up, but I had to discover that for myself. And there's obviously a lot of people that informed that decision and those choices that I ended up making. Like yourself is one of them, and people that I look up to and admire, and even people that make bad choices, and I learn from those choices from them, or even myself that I make bad choices. But I learned that when you lean too much into the desperation of survival, I'm talking about like for us, like it can be destructive, ironically.
You know what? That's a great point. Actually, you work so hard to survive, and it's a detriment to your continued advancement, right? You wear away at your life and at your soul. And it sounds like a simple thing, right? Like, do unto others. But sometimes we're fed growing up that, like, prioritize yourself. You got to take care of yourself, and it's easy to get in that habit of, like, putting yourself before other people.
No, yeah. And I think that's something that's come up, I think maybe the past, like, 10 years. I think it's exploded, especially, like, with social media. Like, we're talking about self-improvement,
Yeah.
And, self-motivation, and it's me. Like, you're the master of your destiny, you're the captain of your fate, or whatever. Like, you are the person that's in control and all these things. And I think there's good that can be taken from that, but when you're all like always relying on self, when you don't meet expectations or you don't reach your goals, you feel it harder. You're harder on yourself.
Yeah.
For that. And then when you do, or you exceed, or you surpass, or you do well, you kind of start to get a big head, and that might lead you down a path of pride. And I think pride is one of the biggest downfalls any human can come across. That's in a personal, as far as like in a personal journey.
Yeah.
I think pride is extremely detrimental.
Yeah. I mean, I think many times pride comes before a fall. Also, it's one of my favorite mixed martial arts companies from a couple of decades ago. But regardless of rest in peace, Pride FC. But circling back at what you're saying, being alone versus being connected to other people, I think that theme of isolation and connection runs rampant throughout the novel and the film. But let's circle back to Ryland and kind of explore this. I don't think we touched upon this when we talked about Ryland. Why the heck is Ryland so disconnected? Like, what is it about his life why is he isolated?
I think it's because...
What do you think it is? Yeah.
I think it's because part of it was the rejection he received from all his peers. I think that's why I felt it was such an important piece in the book to me, because I felt like that not mistake, because he gets validation later on, but I feel like that theory he had and like the take that he had on it basically made him the laughing stock, and that's why he just kind of settled into being a middle school teacher. And then that's like, okay, well, you're this genius who came up with this theory.
Yeah, wow, thanks for settled. Wow, some might say it's actually more meaningful.
First of all, you are a high school
heroic.
teacher.
You're right.
Middle school, yeah,
is the lowest form.
That's the lowest thing you can do.
But I was once a middle school teacher.
Okay, well you're not
Come up
anymore,
in the
so
world.
you're in the highest
He's
form.
doubling down. He's standing on it.
I'm
Hey,
just kidding.
I'm still Georgie from the block.
No, but for him, he's a science. Like he is a full blown scientist. Like this is a guy who's come up with a theory that could absolutely be life changing.
I don't
And
know why I
he-
can't get past the term full-blown scientist.
Yeah,
Full-blown
George.
scientist.
What are you, bro? Are you a scientist? What theories have you come up with?
Yeah. No, but I mean,
Actually, I can't say that.
it sounds like being a scientist is like herpes or something. He's got full-blown science in him. It's just he's a massive
Full
scientist.
blown astrophage.
Okay, well he is
Everywhere.
He is. I don't even know what is he, a professional scientist? Like what? He
So,
is a.
so like a science teacher's like an amateur scientist.
He's not at the pros. He's
Yeah,
not at that
I
level.
mean they pay him.
G League science.
He's a
there,
G,
yeah.
he was not a G League scientist. He was pro, right? And then he settled and went to the D League. He went lower than the G League.
Middle school.
I don't think he's in a league.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Huh?
He's
So, like,
selling
that's, like,
hot dogs
developmental?
in the stadium. He's not in a league anymore.
He does
That is why
science
he
for fun on the
isolated
weekend.
himself.
He's
Yeah,
playing-
this is the
Yeah.
exact reason.
He's
Yeah,
playing
this
over. He's playing
stupid-
overseas. Okay,
Yeah.
that's how bad it is.
Oh yeah, what an idiot, right?
All the other full blown scientists just make fun of him.
Yeah, they're like, you're not full blown. You're just like a light rash of science.
You're a lightly blown scientist.
light scientist. Anyways, as I was saying, I think that is the main reason that he's fallen to where he is, and I feel like that was a very small piece. It was small in the movie, but I felt like in the book it was kind of a underlying theme that just stuck through the book. And I think because of all the ridicule, he didn't have that connection anymore with anybody. Even though I guess in the book he's just connected to that. Other
Which was what?
scientist,
We
the
should
NASA
probably-
scientist at the beginning.
We should probably explain.
Oh yeah, this
He was
episode's
wrong
about
about-
Project Hail Mary. Oh, that's not what we need to explain.
What?
No, what he was right and wrong about.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we touched upon it, but I'm
We
not
did.
sure. If someone hasn't read the book, you went into detail like about exactly what that process was like his theory about the.
About
I
hydrogen?
think we alluded to it. Yeah, but you want to like kind
No,
of
we
spell
talked.
it out?
We didn't talk about it on the camera.
Yeah,
We
let's
did. Oh, okay.
Well, unpack it really quick in case anyone missed it, or let's revisit it because I think we mentioned like, oh, the thing about the hydrogen, but
Yeah.
what exactly was it that he had written a paper about believing that was disproved and then eventually does get proved? Because I think a lot of people missed it. I even missed that in the not that I missed it. I'm sure I read it, but I didn't even remember it in the novel. I didn't see it missing from the film. You mentioned it, and it's like, oh yeah, that's right. So if you just spell that out quickly.
So in the book, he, when he's first approached by Straff mentions
Straff is misborn.
Misborn coded.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks
baby.
in a row. Yeah.
2 weeks. 2 weeks in a row.
It's been a few weeks.
it's been a jam-packed week.
Jam-packed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been jam-packed.
It's been a
Straff.
Pepe, what do you have to say
Full-blown
about
week.
that?
Rat.
Hoy lo estás dando todo.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, okay.
Good point, Pepe.
Anyways, Strat when she approaches him first, she brings up the ridicule of his paper. His paper where he wrote a scathing
Thesis.
scathing thesis about how not all life forms need hydrogen when of course what we believe is that we're literally everything's made out of hydrogen, including us. So he was ridiculed.
That's
for
what we
that.
believe as Americans.
Yeah.
That's Americans. That's what we believe.
The Gulf
That's
of
what we believe
America is full
as
of
humans. What
hydrogen.
you talking about? So that ridicule
Presbyterians.
was what led him into becoming a teacher, and kind of Strat touches upon that in the book. Later on, when he's looking at the actual, not Tommy, but what's the name? The
Astrophysics?
astrophage, and he finds hydrogen in it, he gets like really sad because he thought that this was going to be his validation for it, and ends up that the astrophage does have hydrogen. And then it kind of stays quiet throughout the book all the way until he finds out that Rocky's actually not made out of hydrogen. It's out of like nitrogen without a hydrogen molecule or something like that. And he gets like super excited and gives him the validation of like, oh, I was right. Not every living life form in this universe needs hydrogen.
I isolated myself for nothing.
Yeah, I became a middle school teacher for nothing.
Okay.
I was a full-blown scientist.
I was a full-blown scientist and now I'm a middle school teacher.
Yeah. Well, I don't like the tone you say it now, too. Oh, middle school teacher.
He's been doubling down.
Doubling and tripling. Yeah. You know what's interesting, though? He seems to be a really good teacher, and he seems to kind of enjoy the work.
Yeah.
You know? And it's interesting how you mentioned not just purpose in your career, but in your life. And not necessarily you have to give back in what you do in your job. But he does. Like, he gives back to the community. He educates the next generation of what seems to be a very engaged and very advanced thinking class.
Yes.
Real, right?
They're like some genius
Are we
kids.
sure that's a middle school class? 'Cause
Yeah.
The questions that they
must
were
be like a
asking.
magnet school.
yeah.
But,
I mean, when you have a former pro scientist teaching,
yeah, full blown.
full blown.
Full-blown scientist.
I mean, I
Triple
think
A.
I think there's an aspect of like, I mean, he went into teaching because, listen, no offense, for him it was safe. It was a safe choice for him. So he lost his confidence, so he went to a safe profession.
Yeah,
And-
something easy, no risk.
I want to remind you that last
Feels like
week
a
I said that
parent-teacher
teachers
conference.
were heroes. I want to remind you that I said that last week.
This is the first episode for many people. This will be the first time they hear your opinions on teaching.
I think it's a very noble profession.
We love all the teachers.
Every single one.
Every single one. Even middle
Not
school
all.
teachers.
The full-blown
The
teachers.
full-blown teachers. The part-time
We don't want
teachers.
those.
The middle school
Can't have those.
teachers. The
What they do in
elementary
the privacy
teachers.
of their own home is fine. Okay. So he settled for being a middle school teacher.
Says it's
Are
so,
you okay?
so sad.
He changed careers.
He did. He changed
And he
careers.
picked something safe.
I mean, he changed careers mainly because I don't think he could be a full blown scientist anywhere else. Like probably no one would hire him or whatever, and so
He was
he
ridiculed.
probably, yeah. So I don't think he. It's not. I just don't think he could get a job anywhere else doing that.
No, because remember
So-
later on when he meets the scientist who actually creates the centrifuge, she says, "You're the famous Ryland Grace," and he's like, "Oh wow, she knows me." And she's like, "You're the idiot that put out that paper about hydrogen." He's like, "Oh dang." So you know,
What are you doing now? Teaching middle school? Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you know?
You know, it's funny because he's likely ostracized from his community, you know,
Yeah.
all the full-blown scientists. And he probably doesn't have like a friend in the world in that field. And it's actually, you said he went to a job that's safe. And that's actually not a lie. Sometimes adults in the real world can be so toxic. It's kind of a relief to be surrounded
true.
by children, because even though they can be crappy and petty, they're children. So you understand it. And you're like, well, they're in a, you know, on a progressional path. And it's your job to kind of help direct them and find their way to self-actualizations. Sometimes that's a lot easier to put up with than adults, which you expect to be self-actualized and to be able to, you know, form healthy relationships. But he saw nothing but like rejection in his field. And there's a truth to what you're saying. It might be safer to surround himself with people who can be more giving or forgiving, or at least have a reason to be the way they are, as opposed to,
And
you
look
know,
up
the
to him.
adult. Yeah, and for him to be the smartest guy in the room, you know, and he's not going to be questioned to the level that, unfortunately, he found in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time too, it's like you listen to, like I feel like I hear stories all the time of people in the workplace having to deal with grown adults acting like children. And it just blows my mind that it's like, what if they had a Ryland in their life when they were younger?
Yeah.
You know, what if they had that middle school teacher? Not necessarily has to be a full-blown scientist, but you know, the right influence.
Yeah, any old dude will
The right influence in your life at such a pivotal stage as middle school can change your life for the better or for worse.
And it's interesting just to tie it into something else because I think we talked about The Anxious Generation, a book that we'll likely discuss in the months to come that some of us have read and some of us are to read. They mentioned, not that obviously that model or guide can be any gender, but the importance of the male figure in the lives of that generation that's coming up, especially for young boys to see those kind of models that, you know, that science can be cool and that teaching and sharing and building community can be like a masculine thing as well. I think that book kind of emphasizes that it's part of that like drop off in male academic achievement and growth, that lack of role models within that workforce.
Yeah. Or they're just all
More more full-blown scientists need to settle to be middle schoolers is basically what the commercial.
They need to go back to middle school.
Yeah, go
Not
back.
Teach. Just
Yeah.
go back to middle school.
You'd be amazed what you learn in middle school nowadays.
That's true.
I'm sure.
Okay,
that's
so let's
actually true.
yeah. So let's hone in on the ending. Grace decides to stay with Rock. Spoilers, if anyone hasn't noticed, we're completely spoiling both the novel.
I
and
mean,
the
if
film.
you're this far, right?
Yeah, you're in
I-
episode 3.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, then you're a lunatic.
Yeah.
But we love you.
Yeah, it's not about the money. But what do you think? Was Grace's final decision satisfying? Did the ending feel earned?
It threw me off. I won't lie. Initially, I wasn't sure how I felt about the ending. I felt like almost like initially I was like, dang, this is kind of a cop out. You know, I felt like he wasn't gonna get his validation going back, but then upon finishing the book and like thinking about it, and in the movie too, you get the same feeling from the movie as well. I was kind of sitting on it thinking like, no, like this honestly probably was the best ending. I mean, first of all, there was no way he was going to go back to Earth because what if they didn't receive anything and he would just got into a planet that was destroyed.
Oops.
Oops.
Send me back.
He can't go back anywhere else. So, but on top of that, I felt like he found a place where not only could he do again what he loved, but also he was with what his strongest connection that he's ever made in his life with Rocky. And I felt like that was like his validation of like, okay, I'm going back. I'm doing what I love by teaching, not only teaching middle school Iridians.
So now it's what he loved now he's following his passion.
Yes.
He settled for middle school teaching and now it's like his defining purpose
Okay,
in the
well,
universe.
but- to be
But
fair-
he
He's in
was the
acceptance.
smartest
He's in acceptance.
person.
That's what it was.
He was the smartest person on Arid because he also taught all the scientists there about everything, physics and time, space travel, and all this other stuff.
He is now head scientist
on
in,
Arid.
in an interdimensional, no, not dimensional, sorry, intergalactic.
He's a full-blown scientist.
He's a full-blown
Yeah,
scientist.
that's his title. His
part of
badge
a
actually says
full-blown
full-blown scientist.
intergalactic eventual
He's just like Earth
treaty, probably. But I mean, I feel two ways about the ending. I feel two different ways, one for the movie ending and one for the book ending. Initially for the book, I didn't like the time skip at first because I was like, I want to know how the hell we got here. Like, I want to know the process, especially after they were
That's
explaining all the science in detail.
I was
like,
pretty thrown by
Yeah.
the time skip too.
he's
yeah.
like, I woke up in Arid. I'm like, oh,
How'd
okay.
he go? How'd he go? What was the sound?
But anyways, I
If you
feel
didn't
like
read the book, they're just lost. completely.
I feel
Thinking
like
something else.
that was the only satisfying ending to keep him alive while not invalidating the sacrifice
He made.
he made.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he has to make sacrifice, right? And we all, you thought he was gonna die.
there were points.
I thought he was gonna die.
But I think there was a point where I texted the group chat and I said, if he lives or if he dies, I'm satisfied. And this felt like a happy medium because he got validation, not validation, but he survived and he still had to sacrifice something. Now, in the movie, he's living a
here
little
it
too
comes.
good.
Yeah,
He's living a little too good. They got him a beach house.
bro. They have him on this like
with the
beautiful.
wave
Bro, they made him
generator,
an entire
Oregon,
dome.
This isn't like
It's a dream
Oregon
house.
He,
coast
yeah,
land,
he didn't
bro.
sacrifice anything
House.
now.
They made him like a little city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Town?
And it's all like designed based on all his favorite things.
Yeah, all his favorite
that he
things.
yeah.
In the book,
like he's
it's
in
just it's a desert. Remember, he's like placing rocks like
yeah,
a garden.
He was like bored trying
It's
to
also
figure
not
out
that
like
big.
yeah, it was like small. Like, it was like
Yeah.
a small little dome, a little ecosystem for him to breathe, and then a little tunnel where you could teach. This is like
Yeah,
a
I thought it was like a
full-blown
room.
like section
Planet.
of yeah.
We didn't even get to see the actual
And the
planet
Indians
of arid
got, like,
where
It's like give him 100 acres of beach and like a beautiful
Yeah.
cliff. Like
Yeah,
and a cliff
he-
house.
it's
I
like-
mean, take me to arid. Shoot.
yeah. His house is like bigger than some Star Wars planets. like Tatooine is just that little town, a couple of houses, and just sand.
I mean, I guess that's what you give the guy that saved your planet and species.
I mean,
Apparently not
put
to
him
the,
in
in
a
the
cage.
in the
well,
book.
I mean, in the book they gave him survival, and they
Yeah,
gave him
and I'm like,
everything.
okay, maybe that's the best they can do, but apparently they were holding out in the book.
Oh, you know what? Also,
Yeah.
you know what? They didn't even go through the me stakes.
Oh, that's true. Like how? Yeah,
explain
How
that.
like how? Okay, so in the book, one of the main reasons that he contemplates not going back to go save Rocky is because he only has enough food to make the full trip to
Mm.
Earth. And if he were to turn back and use the and however many days it takes him to get to Rocky, he would use the supply and wouldn't be able to get back to Earth, so he would have no food. So when he gets and he saves Rocky, Rocky tells him, well, okay, we'll go back to Earth. He's like, well, I can't because I can't eat anything. So that's why I was like, oh, he's dead. Like, what are they going to do? They're going to go to arid. He can't eat anything in arid. And then come to find out, they like create like synthetic like steaks made from like his DNA.
yeah. It's the me burgers. He
The
calls
me
them
burgers?
yeah, that's right.
So they, that was a whole other thing that they missed out on. I mean, I don't think it was
Yeah,
like.
I mean, you got to cut some things for
Yeah.
time, but yeah, I mean,
But
I don't
extra
think I would
20
trust
minutes.
that though.
meat
Burgers,
burgers?
like
burgers.
yeah. What was it? They all died on the ship because they didn't know what.
Radiation.
They didn't know about radiation. So like those meat burgers are gonna give them colon cancer. Like they don't know about.
He
they
was
don't-
clear-
You think they get colon
He
cancer?
was
They're
old
made of
enough.
rock.
He was old enough, clearly. So he
Isn't
was
that because of the
surviving.
space travel though? Isn't that?
You think they check his prostate on arid?
Yeah, I don't think they know
What
how
do
to.
you think
I don't think
medical-
he
That
knows
would,
how to get
that would
proper
be
medical
uncomfortable. That would be
I mean,
very
he has
uncomfortable.
all of Wiki, all of the
Yeah.
the entire Wikipedia. So I
Yeah. That is true. So
Oh,
he
that
just
is
goes
very
like on
true.
WebMD and like just gives himself.
how to check your own
becomes like-
prostate.
Just becomes a full blown doctor.
He teaches them how to give him not a probe. What,
A
what is it?
prostate exam.
A prostate exam?
No, the a colonoscopy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. But technically, a colonoscopy would be an alien probe, right? In this
Yeah,
situation.
it would. It would. Technically speaking.
Yeah. So he teaches them how to probe them. Okay, so to wrap up, let's draw some connections to some other stories that we've talked about or will talk about. I think we talked about in episode 1, the book club, some of the stories that we read, and I know this is going to be Julian's favorite part of the conversation. How would you compare the idea of science versus inevitability and time in Project Hail Mary with your favorite story, the story of your life, the basis for the hit film The Arrival by Dennis
I decline to answer this
Just
question.
Arrival.
You guys can answer it.
I'm
I
watching
defer
you
to
very closely.
I defer
I'm
to
listening
all three of
to
you.
your answer
I'll stay quiet.
very eagerly.
Go ahead.
Elaborate, Julian.
No, you first. I'm good.
Science.
The question was
versus
directed
inevitability
towards
of
you.
time.
Answer the question.
You know a lot about this book. You love this. You love
To be
this
honest,
story.
I don't remember a single sentence from that book. My
Me
mind is
gustan los
erased it.
días en los que no pasa nada.
Thanks, Pepe. Appreciate it.
That's a good point, Pepe.
So how do you think about science versus the inevitability of time, as outlined in the? How would you compare Project Hail Mary, for example, to the story of your life and the Arrival? We're not going to do a whole
I wouldn't-
episode on the story. Of
I
your
wouldn't compare them
life. Why?
because that's a disgrace to Project Hail Mary.
Okay. So you just refuse to talk about the story of your life. For any of our listeners out there, check out the story of your life from Ted Chiang's collection. The
Do not
Stories of
start
Your
with
Life.
Tower of
And-
Babel.
And do not start at the Tower of Babylon.
Babylon,
so
sorry.
this book is a collection of different stories, of
Of
short stories.
Yes.
And so, but the book is called Stories of Your Life,
Yeah.
right?
But
The one that we specifically
Was
were reading
Stories
was
of Your
called
Life.
The Story of Your Life. So I'm here thinking that it's a whole. I didn't know it was a collection. I'm here thinking it's just the whole book that I'm reading. So I start at the beginning. I'm like, all right, sure. And then I'm reading, and it's like
when
chapter
did the
1,
aliens
the
show up?
Tower of Babylon, and it's just like this Tower of Babel like structure that's like going up, and people come down, and there's have engineers working it, and people on the ground like they transport goods and services and whatever, and like I'm reading, I'm like 15 minutes in, I'm like,
where are the
what the
aliens?
hell have these guys been reading? Like, what are these guys even talking about? There's nothing that connects. Like, how does this connect to the movie Arrival by Denis Villeneuve? Like, I don't understand. Who, like, is this main male character supposed to be, what's her name?
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams?
Amy
Like,
Adams.
what is happening? And then, like, I was so perplexed. And I don't think I wrote anything in the chat. Because I was like,
You just
I
sat
didn't
here.
want to
Accepted
ask.
it.
Until
So then
later.
I kept looking through the chapters. I'm like, where's this crap going? And then I see one like towards like middle end. This is the story of your life, and I'm like, oh, I googled. That's what it was. I googled it, or what Arrival was based on, and I'm like, oh, this is what they've. And then I start that, and I'm like, okay, that's Amy Adams. That makes sense.
That makes
She's
sense.
a full blown scientist.
That
So.
makes sense.
Check out the story of your life.
She's a
and The
full blown
Arrival.
linguistics scientist.
So sometimes, just like Ryland's journey, we go through a lot and it's not all useful, but eventually we get to the solution, right? That's that process. And that's you reading multiple short stories that are not the basis for The Arrival.
It'll serve me somehow, someday.
Okay.
What was your initial question that Julian dodged forever?
It actually doesn't matter. Let's just move on. All right, we're going to be doing a series on the Mistborn, right? And just to give a little preview of that, the topic of forced heroism versus chosen sacrifice. We touched a little bit about this when we unpacked Ryland's character, but how do we feel about that call to heroism and kind of being forced into it rather than making that choice to ourselves? Does that negate the journey of the hero? Does it make it more heroic? How do we feel about Ryland and just characters like this throughout the different books that we've been exploring? Why do I always ask like 3-4 questions? Just
Yeah,
basically.
like, where do I start with that one? Tune in next week.
You can just-
where we break down that entire question.
So it's like, does it negate a hero's journey if they're like forced into it?
No.
No, they still have to go on the journey.
Yeah, you still have to do it.
I
You
mean,
can't do nothing. What's the quote
So there's
from?
Unless
Yeah,
he was like
give
a
us that
coward.
word.
Do the
and, like-
quote. The quote from
What?
Tenet.
From Tenet?
Oh,
It's not an excuse to do nothing.
It's an expression of faith in the mechanics of the world. It's not an excuse to do nothing.
Exactly that.
That.
I guess in a sense. Go ahead, Julian.
No, I was just saying. I mean, the only way that would not work would be if he decided like, oh, I'm not doing anything. Because they sent me here, they forced me here. I'm not doing anything. I'm just gonna live the rest of my life until I die.
Yeah, and then he's not a hero.
And then he's not a hero.
Yeah.
Then he's
Yeah,
just a middle school teacher who died in space.
Yeah, that's just a loser.
I think it's like that in life. Sometimes, like, there's plenty of things I haven't wanted to do or still don't want to do in my life that I need to get pushed to do, that I need to be forced to do for me to actually do it. And then by the end of me doing it, I'm like, okay, wasn't that bad, or it's like, at least I did it, you know? I got it done. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of things that either I'm too lazy, or it seems too challenging or too hard, or I'm too busy, or it's been too jam-packed. And like, my problems are just full blown that I just don't want to do it.
They're full blown.
You know?
Full circle now.
Or you're just scared, or it's fear, or like, you know, the unknown, or whatever it is. But sometimes like, we need to be pushed into doing that. Sometimes we need to be coerced into doing that. I think, obviously, the context of this story, not cool, Strat, but like necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we all agree that Strat did nothing wrong.
I mean, he was the best man for the job. No one else would pull that off.
I mean, she did wrong, but again, it was,
But
like
she
I said
didn't.
last week, it was a gamble.
She didn't do wrong.
But sometimes
It was
when
a
you
Hail
gamble,
Mary?
you win.
she
It was
threw
a
the
Hail
pass
Mary.
for the Hail Mary. And
Yeah.
he caught it.
Oh,
It
that's
was
what that means?
It was the correct decision, but doesn't necessarily make it morally right.
No.
Saving everyone's life, isn't it morally right?
Ooh.
Sacrificing someone.
Maybe sacrificing.
Against their will, putting them in a coma and sending them into outer space against their wishes, and then lying about it, I think isn't right.
Well, I mean,
But is it morally right if it means saving everyone on planet Earth?
should Bullseye kill Fisk? Is it morally
Oh.
right?
Is it moral-
Spoilers.
Spoilers. I haven't even watched it.
Paul, Bullseye kills Fish this episode.
I didn't say.
And on that note,
The show's over.
join us next week when we talk about something else.
¿Cómo está